Hello guys, it is Gate of Theories here, and we are back talking about the show that everyone loves, Riverdale. And this show has had so many seasons so far, already 4 full seasons, and season 5 is almost around the corner after this whole pandemic is finished with. And Cole Sprouse has basically confirmed that season 6 and season 7 is all going to happen, and who knows how long they're going to be doing Riverdale for. They'll probably wait till like season 10 with all the main characters and then get a bunch of new characters up to Riverdale High and repeat it all over again, because it's probably not going to stop anytime soon. But because we have been confirmed that all of these new seasons are coming, let's have a look back at the past 4 seasons that have happened and see really, truly, which one is the best. Because so much happens in Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, and they are pretty different from each other. There's lots of similarities between them, but there's lots of differences as well, with characters, plots, story arcs, all that sort of stuff. So today, we are going to officially verse every single season of Riverdale so far, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and Season 4, and see truly which one is the best Riverdale season. But before we go any further, please make sure that you've clicked that red subscribe button down below and have your notifications turned on so that you get notified whenever we make a brand new video. So to do this, we're going to come up with a list of different categories and then compare them with each season to this category and see which one performs the best. If a season wins the category, they get a little tick, and then we will see by the end which season has the most ticks, and that will tell us which season is truly the best. So the first category is going to be the story. The main story of the season, because the story's got to keep you going, it's got to keep you entertained, and there's got to be different bumps in the story, there's got to be different plot lines throughout a whole story, but overall it needs to come together nicely from the beginning to the end and feel like a proper season. Season 1, I think, did this pretty well. It started with the whole mystery of Jason Blossom, and the whole season basically revolved around that. There was all the mysteries about what really happened to Jason. Did he just die in the lake or not? There was lots of character development with especially Cheryl Blossom, and then eventually in turn even wanting to kill herself, and there was that brilliant episode on the ice where Archie manages to save her, and the story isn't really that complicated. It may seem pretty complicated to just a casual viewer, but if you're a Riverdale viewer and you're used to how complicated these stories can get, this story was pretty simple. It was all about having this team come together, these 4 main people from Riverdale High, all coming together, and basically there was a few bits with the serpents and all that sort of stuff, but it was just a nice round story, starting with Jason Blossom's mystery and ending with the conclusion to Jason Blossom's story arc, basically working out who on earth did it and beginning to set up the next season. It was a nice round and full story, and if Riverdale was only ever one season, I'd want it to be this season like they started with, because they could have easily ended it with just finding out who killed Jason Blossom and then ended it there, and it would have worked really, really nicely. Season 2, Season 3, they were pretty good stories as well. A bit more complicated. You had the whole situation with the farm, the Black Hood, the Gargoyle King. Basically, Season 2 and Season 3 was just Penelope Blossom throwing villain after villain after villain at everywhere. And these stories did work, and they did sort of feel like a full circle, with the Black Hood mainly taking place in Season 2, and then the Gargoyle King mainly taking place in Season 3. However, there was just too much going on, in my opinion. It got really, really complicated at times, and the story just sort of like went up and down and got really tangled up quite a lot, and the seasons, in my opinion, just didn't necessarily flow as nicely as they did in Season 1. And finally, we come to Season 4, our most recent season. We haven't actually seen the end of Season 4 because of the pandemic, so we're not really sure how on earth it would conclude. But if we're on about just like the main sort of focus on the story, it was pretty nice because you had all of the flash forwards from the beginning of the episodes, hinting at what this story was going to give you. So it made the audience think about what there was going to be in the future. So I thought that was a really cool story technique. The story itself of Jughead being away it worked, and the whole Jughead death thing, I thought it really worked really well. However, all the characters were just apart from each other, and it was basically, instead of just one concise story, it was like every character had their own individual story and none of them linked, which is fine, except from we're not just watching a show called Betty and Jughead, we're watching a show about Riverdale, about all these people. So for that reason, I'm going to give this point to the first season, because it was just a nice round story. Start with Jason Blossom, ended with Jason Blossom. You could tell everything had been mainly concluded, and it worked really well. The next category we're going to look at is character development, which season really focused on these characters and showed us their true story arc. Season 1, of course, brought all the characters together. We got to be introduced to these characters for the first time if you hadn't seen the Archie comics, and lots of them had very new traits. The character development, especially from characters such as Cheryl Blossom, who had to deal with basically her whole family almost dying, and the character development from people, for example, Jughead with the whole serpents and his father. It just was a really nice character development, and you could begin to start connecting with these characters, and you could see their gradual journey. Season 2 especially focused on Betty's character development and the whole Cooper family, and of course Archie's character development with his father being shot by the Black Hood and them trying to get revenge on it. And you got to see the gradual hints of darkness to each of these characters. You'd seen them a bit in season 1, but now they were really coming up. And then in season 3, I thought did character development extremely well, considering Archie was off in a detention center, and you got a brilliant character development of seeing this high school kid going from being just a random high school kid who dealt with a bit of crime to suddenly being literally in a prison and trying to escape, and his character development through him boxing and then actually becoming like a really, really strong character. Same with Veronica having to deal with her dad. Same with Betty having to deal with the struggles of the farm and the aftermath of the Black Hood. Same with Jughead as well. It just all seemed to come together, and you could really see some great character arcs throughout this season. And season 4, like I was saying before, the character development did work, especially for someone like Jughead and Betty, especially Jughead, who I thought was the main character of season 4, where you went from him wondering whether he should go to Stonewall to then gradually becoming more and more better at writing and better at solving mysteries and coming nice full circle. However, the problem with season 4 is the characters mainly just focused on Betty and Jughead, and then all of this character development that we'd focused on for the past 3 seasons basically was just thrown away. Like Archie, he did nothing in season 4, did he? Veronica, you could have watched season 4 without Veronica in it and it wouldn't have made a difference. So for that reason, I'm going to give this one to season 3, because I thought all of the nice character story arcs came together really well, and it also focused a lot on the parents as well, who are basically main characters in my opinion, and their whole story from traveling from when they were kids playing Griffins and Gargoyles to now when they're adults trying to protect their children from playing that game. Next, we have the mystery, because Riverdale is, of course, a show all about mysteries. Every season takes on a new mystery, whether it's Jason Blossom, how he died, the Black Hood, the farm, Griffins and Gargoyles, whether Jughead has died or not, and if Betty has killed him. Just so many mysteries. And I reckon, in my personal opinion, every time a new season comes on, the stakes just get higher and higher. Jason Blossom first season, yeah, pretty good mystery. The whole Blossom family, yeah, pretty good. Season 2, the Black Hood, it just took it up a whole new level of this killer just going around and shooting anyone who he didn't agree with. To season 3, the mystery just getting really, really complicated now with the whole farm situation and Griffins and Gargoyles and the Gargoyle King. Who was this Gargoyle King? And I thought they did that really well, because every clue just made a bunch of new questions, but then finally in the end we did find out everything that we needed to know. However, I'm going to give this one to season 4, just because I really love the idea of the flash forward scenes, and especially at the end of season 3, where the cliffhanger just showed us like months in the future of them just burning Jughead's beanie and wondering whether Betty, the person who's closest to Jughead, did actually kill him or not. And of course there's a mystery about the tapes, but that's just a little mystery on the side. Personally, I think that this mystery is really good because it focuses on the main characters. The rest of the seasons, yeah, Cheryl is a main character and her brother, I guess, but it's the Black Hood mainly focused on the Cooper family. The Gargoyle King was just about like the characters in general. This one mainly focused on one main character who was part of the main gang, and I just think it worked really, really well. The next category we have is the villain, because Riverdale is just full of villains who go along with these mysteries. We've had loads of them. We've had Clifford Blossom. Penelope Blossom, of course, just throws out villains left, right, and centre. The Black Hood, the Gargoyle King. You could say that Donna and Brett were the villains of Season 4, I guess, and we don't know who on earth was behind those tapes. You could say Hiram Lodge is a villain, so you could basically just say anyone's a villain at one point or another. But who truly is the best? In my personal opinion, I think any of Penelope Blossom's villains are. The Gargoyle King, her bringing it back from her childhood to haunt the town of Riverdale again. Just Penelope Blossom in general, and her bringing in the Black Hood to just go around and kill anyone in Riverdale who just doesn't agree with anything that they want them to agree with. It's just an incredible villain. That's what I want my villains to be like. Just someone who literally doesn't care about anyone else and just literally goes and shoots them. So in my personal opinion, I think out of Penelope Blossom's best villains, it's got to be the Black Hood. Hal Cooper himself, the Black Hood, pulls it off really, really well, and it was just a brilliant mystery following Betty and Jughead trying to work out who the Black Hood was, and then the fear and anger and emotion from Betty when she finds out that the Black Hood is her father is just priceless. And when he finally returns and says goodbye at the end of Season 3, I think it's just a brilliant ending to that character. So in my personal opinion, I think that the Black Hood was the best villain, and so for that reason, Season 2 wins this one. So it looks like we have a tie at the moment, with every single season winning at least one category. So I thought to myself, how on earth am I going to make this fair and not be biased about this, all about who I really want to win? And to conclude this versus episode by truly finding out which season is the best. So I thought we'd go to our reliable source, IMDb, where basically the public can easily go in and vote for what their favourite episodes are, and give them a rating out of 10. The show itself actually has a 7.0 out of 10, which is not bad for a TV show on IMDb. So what I thought we'd do is, since Season 1 there's only 13 episodes and all of the ratings on Season 1 are very similar. If you want to go and see them yourself, I will leave a link to the IMDb page down below, and basically you can rank out of 10 each individual episode, and in Season 1 they're very, very similar, and considering that only has 13 episodes and Season 2 and Season 3 have 22 episodes, but then Season 4 was cut short because of the pandemic, and now that's going to relay onto Season 5, I just thought it would work best if we find the top 13 episodes of each season and then work out the mean average of them to finally see which season has the best rating. So in last place, unfortunately, but also not really surprisingly, is the latest season, Season 4, with an average score of 7.68 out of 10. It's not bad, but it's nothing compared to what the other seasons get. Coming in third place, quite fittingly, is Season 3 with an average score of 7.8 from the top 13 episodes. Then coming in second place is Season 1 with an average score of 8.0, which actually is very good considering for its first season, and the episodes were pretty balanced, so that's really good. And then finally, coming in first place, only just beating Season 1, is Season 2, with an average score of its top 13 episodes with 8.17 out of 10. Only 0.17 above Season 1. So guys, that concludes this versus episode, and it looks like Season 2 is officially the best season of Riverdale. Tell us in the comment section down below whether you agree with us here on this YouTube channel, or whether you think another season is your favourite. Let us know what your favourite season is down below, and again, if you want to go and check the maths on this and look at the top 13 episodes, or if you're just interested, go check out the link to the IMDb page down below in the description box. And as always, we've been here on Gate of Theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.